Episode 44, allegedly.
No more testing right now. Hey, everybody, hang on. Everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to Into the 99, where we have 99 cards because Commander's never won. I'm one of your old Sherman.
Oh, I'm Hope.
I'm Daniel. I'm Tyrone. Yeah, we're very professional at 8:30 in the morning, guys. Welcome to the show. Hope let everyone know what we're talking about today.
So today we wanted to talk about a super secret card from Jumpstart. So, as everybody probably knows, when you bought a box of the core set, you got a couple Jumpstart packs. So we got a couple Jumpstart packs, and we were lucky enough to get one of the legendary creatures. It's a rare. So we got Muxus, who is probably one of the best Goblin Commander options since OG Krenko, and we're very excited about it. And so Daniel built a cool Muxus deck, so we wanted to run through it and maybe discuss some of the positives and negatives and reasons why you might want to build Muxus over Krenko specifically. So.
Yeah, and what's actually in the deck. So we'll go over the deck list, but we're going to start with...
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about what's in the deck.
Everyone knows what Krenko... Everyone knows what Krenko does, but if anyone for some reason does not know what Krenko does, Krenko is... Let me pull her up here. Him.
He's a two...
You know what? We don't know how Krenko identifies.
Krenko's a goblin. How can we possibly know?
Krenko Mob Boss is 2 colorless, 2 red. 3/3 legendary goblin warrior that has tap, create X/1/1 red goblins, where X is the number of goblins you control.
Yeah.
So for pretty much anyone who's seen a goblin deck before, this is the commander of it. Yeah. Or it's the other Krenko if they're waiting to get this Krenko.
The Street King.
Well, especially because this Krenko is so aggro, right? Like, goblins are cheap. You drop a bunch of goblins and you get to make exponentially more goblins. With Krenko, it's just like, it comes out hard and it comes out fast, and
yeah, anything that can...
It's overwhelming.
Anything that can untap can basically make you infinite goblins. It's pretty wild.
Yep.
She's nasty.
So the whole reason that I'm excited so much about Muxus is that it's finally, in my opinion, another option. Like, we had some like Pashalik Mons, they've made other Goblin Legends, but none of them have rose to the challenge at all of dealing with Krenko as the King Commander.
Yeah.
They don't call him the Kingpin for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So let's talk what Muxus does quickly. I'll get Sherman to read this one here.
Okay, Muxus, Goblin Grandee, 4 red, so 6 costs. It's quite high. But it's a 4/4 legendary creature, Goblin Noble. Wow. They've upgraded.
Goblin Aristocrats.
Yeah. Well, the way everyone plays goblins is pretty much like that. But when Muxus enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put all goblin creatures with converted mana cost 5 or less, which is like all of them.
All goblins, every goblin ever.
From among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When Muxus attacks, it gets a +1/+1 until end of turn for each other goblin attack you control.
So he's got a very, very strong attack, but let's look at that first ability. The 6 cost is it's very high, like we said. Goblins are aggro, you want them to come out fast. Krenko is going to come out faster. That's going to be a pro in the Krenko side.
How much is Krenko?
Krenko's 4.
4?
Unless you're Street King, then it's 3.
3?
Yeah. However,
why would it be Street King?
Muxus... That's true. Muxus, the ability to just reveal 6 cards and put any goblins 5 or less onto the battlefield is nuts. Yeah. If we were to, let's just theoretically create another card, if this was an elf at 6 mana and did the same thing for elves instead of goblins, this would be the elf commander for the end of time.
No more elves. I'm sick and tired of seeing elves.
And like the thing is, like 6 deep in a commander deck isn't very deep, but if you hit any goblin, you're playing it basically.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't think it'd be very few, if any, goblins that I put in the deck are above 5, and if any goblins in existence are above 5. Like, not many are going to be. But let's talk about why Krenko is good first. Obviously, Krenko is cheaper. Krenko is a goblin token creation machine. You're always going to have goblins on the field no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big weakness I find in Krenko decks is a massive board wipe. A massive board wipe can set you back so much. You need like a Skirk Prospector. You need your mana generation stuff to really get him going. And again, a board wipe you play out these goblins. There's so many 1 cost, 2 cost. You play them all out so fast, you're left with a hand that has nothing.
You're left with a deck that has nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, in my opinion, that's one of the biggest benefits of Muxus alone is that ability to, if your creatures are wiped off the board, you do have the ability to just cast it and have that roulette. First off, I love everything that's roulette-y.
Yeah, we love chaos in this
But
house.
you get the top 6 cards and any goblins 5 or less into play. So for 6 cast, you could theoretically pretty easily in a lot of goblin decks hit 5 or 6 goblins that are into play. And that's pretty massive. That's huge. It puts them on the bottom in any order. If it had gone to graveyard, this would still be a pretty good card. It still would have been pretty workable. But the fact that you don't lose the cards, you just reveal the top 6, get any goblins 5 or less into play, is bonkers, because there's a lot of really good goblins.
Oh, especially if you're going to do things like Goblin Recruiter, okay, where you can choose as many as you want to put on top. Like, okay, now I'll tutor for all 6 of the goblins I really want.
Well, exactly. It's just so good. And then, like, let's not forget that Kiki Jiki is a goblin. You can hit Kiki Jiki off the top of your deck and then copy one of your other ETB. Like, it's very strong as an ability. My thing, the second thing is that he can kill you pretty easy with commander damage. Krenko's not going to.
Yeah.
Krenko's going to kill you with Perforos, Impact Tremors kind of damage, or like a swarm of 1/1s, like lots of creature tokens.
Yeah, it's gonna go really, really big, but it's gonna go a lot of tiny damage. It's gonna be 1 here, 1 there, but 140 times, you know.
But that's the thing. Muxus is the new king, and he's gonna do the job himself.
Yeah.
The ability to get 1/1 for each goblin you control on swing is strong, and it's not each attacking goblin, which is a common goblin theme. Just each goblin you control. He can really, really bonk you.
Well, also because it's till the end of turn. That was something that I didn't realize until pretty much right now.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just during combat like that it got the 1/1, but it gets it to the end of turn.
Yep,
which gives you
and we'll
options.
talk about some of those benefits thereafter for sure.
You know, it feels like Wizards is really pushing for commander damage.
Yep.
Because, was it like a year ago? We're just like, commander damage? Come on.
Nobody counts
No one
commander damage.
cared. Now it's just like, oh, man, now I need a dice for you, a dice for you, a dice for you.
A fun little history lesson of the podcast. When Sherman and I started the podcast, we actually called it 21 Damage. And that was the first few episodes were under that name, 21 Damage. And they're obviously gone now. We'll re-record those ones after.
Yes.
Shout out to the OGs.
Shout out to the OGs. But number one was that there was 2 reasons we made that change. One was there's a life counter app that's 21 Damage. Shout out to them. They're a great app. The other, though, is that we didn't see commander damage enough. We didn't think that it encompassed the commander name, and that's what caused the name change. You did not see commander damage as really a viable option. You had a few Voltron-esque commanders, and that was it. Then all of a sudden, they hit you with Trin and Sylvar. They hit you with Muxus, Goblin
They hit you with Paco.
This is our long way of telling you that we're rebranding
we are definitely
back
not.
to
Don't worry.
21 damage.
But yes, so I
21
do think
damage
that's
app
a
will
good
be in
point
contact with your lawyers.
Because Sherman had initially, we had a real in-depth conversation about it, and we just did not think that commander damage was really the viable way to play. It was only in a Voltron-esque deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just didn't encompass what so many other things did. You can win by spell slinging, and we just didn't think there was enough commander damage for the format.
But now
Wizards disagrees.
Yeah, the only person that was ever a problem with commander damage was me.
Yeah, with the
But we digress.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what went into this Muxus deck, and then we'll talk about this one's just one I built. We'll talk about if there's other things people would have built, because probably people would build things differently. I was putting it together. Tyrone's like, why isn't there a Skirk Prospector in there? And
now there is.
He had a real good point, and there is now. So Sherman, I'll let you take us away with the first ones here.
Okay, so let's start with creatures, because creatures are the main focus here. Okay, you have 38 creatures, which I know people are like, oh, that's pretty high. But if you look at what Muxus does,
I wish it was higher.
Yeah, like for me, 38 is a little low. But at the same time, it gives you a good probability of hitting goblins when Muxus comes out. Okay,
well, you're just shy of 40% of your deck, right? Like that's pretty good odds for hitting it.
The way I think of it is like, that's the amount of land I get. So like whatever I draw for my opening hand, how many goblins will I have, right? Yeah. And on average, you'll probably have like 2 to 3, right? So, but.
After playing the deck one time, I will say I'm probably going to change this list up a bit because, you want more goblins.
Yeah.
Goblin Storm.
Because it's just so much more fun. You just gotta throw them out. But you have 38 creatures. Let's go through them, okay? The first one here is Aki Lava Runner, okay? This one is one of those, not like flip cards, but like upside downy cards, okay?
Yeah, the double-sided on one side card.
Yeah, the weird choice
I loved these cards, by the way, and I wish they made a comeback. I thought they were really cool. They flip over into the legendary enchantments or legendary creatures, etc.
It would be interesting if they made a rules change where you could allow them to be a commander, but I don't think that would ever happen,
I wish, because it
that
is technically
really cool.
a legendary creature. It
but you have to
get there.
Yeah. So
just got to get there first.
But who knows? Like we never thought the death triggers would ever happen with Commander. So next thing you know,
plus the rules committee. Plus,
yeah, there is a ban announcement coming. So, we ban Muxus.
What? Why did we do this? Okay. Once again, okay, Aki Lava Runner, 3 in a red, all right? It has haste and it's a 1/1, okay? Whenever Aki deals damage to an opponent, you gotta flip it. Okay, and when you flip it, it comes tonk tonk.
Tonk tonk.
Tonk tonk.
Talk talk.
Talk.
I'm trying to read it upside down.
The viral video app Talk Talk.
Talk talk. Okay. Protect it from red. If a red source would deal damage to a player, it deals that much damage +1 to that player's
Instead.
He's mini Torbrand.
Yeah, he literally is.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. I like him. Mini Torbrand, but he turns all your 1/1 damage into 2/2 damage. So
yeah, that's pretty intense.
There's a separate theme in this deck, and it is enter the battlefield. So Beetleback Chief is an obvious inclusion in it. It's a 2/2 Goblin Warrior for 4 mana, 2 and 2 red. When it enters, you create 2 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens. So again, hitting this off Muxus is bringing 3 goblins with him.
Yeah.
He shows up with a crew.
Oh yeah.
He brings the boys.
Tyrone, the next one.
And then you got your stuffy doll of goblins, the Brash Taunter. It's indestructible. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to a target opponent. And then it's 2 and 1 red, and it has a fight mechanic. Brash Taunter fights another target creature.
I've got to say, I love the Goblin fight mechanic.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. And that was 4 in a red for a 1/1.
Yeah, he's one of the highest cost goblins in the deck.
Yeah.
But just his ability to, if somebody has something the goblins are so easy to give haste to.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody has something out of control, I have a 40/40 commander. Do you now?
Well, he's also, what's it called? He's still under that threshold.
Yeah.
To get him out.
It's only 5 mana.
Don't know why my brain stopped.
The other thing is he is an amazing blocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indestructible.
So annoying. But it's the way I look at him, okay, like any kind of goblin deck, okay, in my personal experience, if they're gonna throw in stuff that gives haste.
Yep.
Get rid of the haste stuff right away.
Haste is one of the it's something in a goblin deck you can't leave alone because again they're so cheap, and you have no idea when more of them are coming out, and you just can't leave them alone if they have haste.
Yeah. So
don't leave goblin players alone just because they have 1/1s.
It's
so true.
It's a tiny little army. If goblin players couldn't kill you, there would be no more goblin players.
Another thing that's really, really nice about the recent sets is it does seem like they're pushing more tribal stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of tribal support, especially in M21. That one was from M21 as well. Mm-hmm. The next one's another one from M21, Conspicuous Snoop.
Nope.
Conspicuous.
Yep.
Sorry, I can't read Hope.
It's early in the morning. None of us can read.
It's early. I don't understand English. I get it.
Yeah.
Conspicuous Snoop. How conspicuous?
Good job, Sweets.
Red. Goblin Rogue 2/2. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may cast goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a goblin, It has all activated abilities of that card.
So good.
Very, very good.
So
Goblin.
good.
Because, as we mentioned, Krenko has a tap for goblins, and if it's on top, he has Krenko's ability.
Yeah.
He has Kiki Jiki's ability.
Yeah. Yeah. Ew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
Him, if Kiki Jiki's on top, you can make basically infinite conspicuous Snoop tokens.
Yeah.
Oops.
They'll be tapped, but they'll be there.
They'll exist for sure.
Yeah. The next one is a crazed goblin for a single crazy for a red, and it's a 1/1, and it must attack each turn if able.
Well, it's a solid 1-drop, but the other thing is, it just gets rid of that having to roll the dice of who am I going to attack first. Oh,
Just attack everyone.
Exactly. Don't be a coward. It has to attack. It has to attack, and it's attacking you, Brian. Go.
It goaded itself.
Hope the next one.
Goblin Banner it. 1 red. It's got Mentor, which is neat, and especially because goblins are such little weak babies.
True.
And for 2, it gets +2/+0 to the end of turn, which is pretty tight also. So it can buff itself, it can buff its friends.
It's repping Boros Banner in the background, the best guild.
Yeah.
The strongest guild.
Okay.
Pretty sure
You
that they
could-
should. Yeah, they've
It's
got
okay
to
to be
nerf
wrong.
Boros.
Ew.
Goblin Chain Whirler is the next one. This is a card that is just nonsense. It's always been nonsense. It's always will be.
It dominated standard.
It did dominate standard.
It's
So
an
it's
absolute
3
dom.
red for a 3/3, but you're in mono red. So again, it's not a
Who
big deal because
cares?
when you're in a monocolor deck, you have one kind of land. Goblin Warrior with First Strike. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, each creature, and planeswalker they control.
Which, let me tell you, was very annoying yesterday because I was playing some planeswalkers and they were each they only had +1s. So every single so constantly I would be rolling them up 1 and Daniel's like, nope,
Not up in here.
we're gonna roll those right back down.
And again, that's a great goblin to hit with Muxus because you're really getting so much value on that enter the battlefield. I cannot stress how strong it is, especially if you hit other enter the battlefield ones. I wanted to run, side note, Panharmonicon. Just didn't seem worthwhile. I didn't find enough enter the battlefield goblins, and I don't really. It's not like a sacrifice Muxus theme.
Yeah, and you're not doing really 2 different themes.
Muxus is strong enough with revealing the top 6. Let's just be real
let's
about
just
it.
keep that.
But you could very easily do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the next ones is one that you should definitely be killing.
Yeah, deal with.
Yeah,
Goblin
so just-
Chieftain.
Yeah.
It's a 1 colorless, 2 red. Haste and other goblins you control get +1/+1 and have haste. And it's a 2/2.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is one of them. The reason, once again, it's the haste. All of them get +1/+1, not a big deal. It's the fact that they all get haste, because if you drop that Krenko and there's already 4 down, Krenko gets a tap, he's the 5th one, and then you get another 5 goblins, and now Muxus is attacking for a lot.
Yeah, well, Muxus
Muxus
enters
and
as a
everyone
4/4
else.
and then 1/1 for each goblin you have when it's trying to bop you. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Goblin Shuriken, which is just a really, really strong goblin. It's a 1-drop 0/2, and it's old text, but it's sacrifice a goblin, regenerate a target goblin.
Yeah.
I believe it's target goblin, not target creature.
I have to look up on the Orgo text. The only thing I care about this card is which artwork would you choose? Because there's 3 different artworks for this one, if I recall.
No, it is just regenerate target creature, so it's even more annoying.
No, we're not talking about the
Picture, the
does.
artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm well aware what you're talking about.
That's all good.
No, it regens every time.
Yeah, that's just annoying. So, but it's a great card. It's from Fallen Empire. Is one of the
Empires.
worst cards. That's when I started Magic.
That was
when I
yeah.
started playing Magic, and I'm like, these cards are cool, and everyone's like, "What is wrong with you? Are you dumb or something?" I'm like, well, I just started. Leave me alone.
Fall Empires was well before my time, obviously. But
Yes, I'm old. I
don't
get
even
it.
know if I was born. But, no, I'm just kidding. I was probably.
We have-
I was just gonna. I wanted to say a fun rule that I learned about Fallen Empires because it was so bad.
Don't print cards like that again.
Well, not only that, but I was talking to the owner of our LGS, and he was telling me that like that Fallen Empires was so bad that they had to make like a new rule for it for competitive play. And not specifically, but it was you had to have 5 cards from every set that was standard legal. So you had to play Fallen Empires.
You had to have some Fallen Empires in there because it was so trash.
So everybody just sideboarded land. I'm like, that's hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
Oh boy. Okay. Next one. Goblin Commando. But they are wearing pants.
I was
don't
going to say
hot. 4 and a red for a 2/2 goblin. When Goblin Commando enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature.
That's annoying.
It's okay. It's not one of the best goblins in the deck. It's definitely not as exciting as the next one, which is Goblin Diplomats. Goblin Diplomats is a 2/1 for 2, 1 colorless, 1 red. Tap, each creature attacks this turn Fable.
So
yeah,
good.
That'd be pretty brutal.
Wow, the price went down on this one.
Yeah. It's a very, very fun card to... You can really force people's hand. You can make it so that they don't have blockers available. You can make them either have to tap down a Birds of Paradise that they were like saving for mana, or have to declare it an attacker. Like, there's a lot of really good uses for it. And goblins only know one diplomatic thing.
Attack! Or run away!
Yeah.
Run away!
We have Goblin Instigator, another ETB. It is 1 colorless, 1 red, again for a 1/1 Goblin Robe. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red Goblin. So you can see there's a lot of ETB with it, and like I said, Muxus brings a lot of people with him. He really has the potential to bring a whole crew along with him.
Okay, next one.
It's going to be Goblin King. It's 1 colorless, 2 red, and it's other goblins get +1/+1 and have Mountain Walk, and it's a 2/2.
Let me tell you, this card really screwed me over yesterday.
Yeah, Hope was playing Rata and definitely had mountains.
Yeah, I mean, and I tried to destroy it twice, and I got countered twice. Sorry, it regen twice.
Goblin Shuriken.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so good. Let's face it, okay? Any kind of walk ability is really, really powerful. I think that ability is underplayed in Commander.
Landwalk is awesome.
Landwalks are like it's pretty. Trailblazer boots. I don't see people play that enough.
Yep.
So
non-basic Landwalk hits a lot of decks.
Heck, Blood Moon. I do not see people play that enough.
Mountain Walk.
I'm a jerk. I know.
Well, even this deck, we haven't got to the lands yet, but I even have a non-basic land in this deck, and I'll have a Valakut in it as soon as I can find a Valakut.
Just go through one of your 166 decks.
Why don't you just...
That's how I use those Valakuts.
Don't you have a Valakut in your Windgrace deck that you don't use because there's literally no point?
No, I have Dryad of the Elysian Grove now.
Once again, you have...
Everything's a mountain.
Once again, you have 2 duffel bags in your closet that we still have to go through.
I miss the good old days of 4 Primeval Titans, 4 Valakuts.
There are probably 4 Valakuts in there.
Probably.
Oh, there's supposed to be a Lion's Eye Diamond there, which I call.
There is.
We're
See?
searching, boys.
We said that like a year ago.
We found some good things. There's so many things to go through in my collection. Goblin Lackey is the next one. It is 1 for a 1/1. When it deals damage to a player, you can put a Goblin permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield.
That's cool.
That's really good.
Awesome because you don't just have Goblin spells or Goblin enchantments, so it's very good. The Pile Driver as well, a very good card. Protection from blue is good in anything in red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's 1 and a red for a 1/2 Goblin Warrior. Whenever it attacks, it gets 2/0 until end of turn for each other attacking Goblin.
Nice.
The next one, I love this one. Okay, Goblin Ringleader. 3 and a red for a 2/2. It has haste, and when Goblin Ringleader enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all Goblin cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This is like a necessity for any Goblin deck.
Yeah, it refills your hand, which is super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goblin Shortcutter, 2/1 for 2. When it enters the battlefield, target creature can't block. And again, Muxus is enormous, so if they only have 1 blocker, not anymore.
Yeah, you're playing a Voltron deck? That's nice.
Yep.
The next one we have Goblin Vandal. If it deals damage to a player, you can pay 1 red, destroy target artifact they control, and then it doesn't deal its damage.
Yeah. For a single red for a 1/1.
Yep.
And then we have Goblin Warchief, 1 red for a 2/2. Goblin spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and goblins you control have haste.
Get
Another
rid
haste.
of it. No Warchief, no King. No
Yeah.
King.
Another problematic card for sure. War Driver is Battlecry, and Battlecry is a very good mechanic that I wish they printed in more things, to be honest. It's 2/2 for 2, and it has Battlecry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets 1/0 until the end of the turn, which in Goblins is often very big.
Yeah.
Probably all of them.
Hope, read the next one.
Sorry, I had a yawn in me. Ib Half-Hearted, Goblin Tactician, 3 and a red for a Goblin Advisor. Oh, 3/2 Goblin Advisor. When another Goblin you control becomes blocked, sack it. If you do, it deals 4 damage to each creature blocking it. Or sack 2 mountains and put 2 1/1 red Goblin creatures onto the battlefield.
You have to read its flavor text.
Everybody but me. Charge! Best, one of my favorite flavor texts in Magic.
So good, so good.
Yep, so good.
Oh, man.
Tyrone, you read us the next one. You're awfully quiet today.
We got Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker. It's 2 colorless, 3 red, and it's a 2/2, and it has haste. Now its ability is tap, put a token that's a copy of a target non-legendary creature you control onto the battlefield. That token has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step.
I wish this could hit legendary so bad.
Yeah, that'd be twite.
But that would just break it so much.
But let's not get it twisted. It's still very, very strong.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's count how many combos we have with Kiki Jiki.
Yeah, countless. He's very strong.
Yeah.
And you have one in the deck already with Conspicuous Snoop.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
We have Krenko, obviously. We talked about him.
Da-doing.
But yeah, he taps. He makes Goblin tokens. Legion Loyalist is another really, really cool Goblin, I think. It's 1 for a 1/1 with haste. Has Battalion. Whenever Legion Loyalist and at least 2 other creatures attack, creatures you control gain first strike and trample until end of turn and can't be blocked by creature tokens.
Strong.
So a great way to get through Muxus. There's a weird symbol. Oh, it's Boros. It's a Boros symbol because Boros is the best.
It's okay to be wrong, Sweets.
Sometimes I am.
I'm in agreement.
I don't know. I like Boros.
I can like things that are bad.
Yeah.
I also like punk rock.
I don't think
Feather.
Boros is that bad. It's just, in my opinion, people
It's
just...
the land.
Well, what? The land ramp? But there's but the land ramp is just expensive in white.
Boros is great, minus the creatures in the color, the ramp, the draw, the lands, the spells, the instants, the sorceries.
But the life gain and
Sunforger?
So dope.
But Sunforger though,
Yeah.
the life gain and the ping, that's perfect.
Sunforger, Teferi's protection, boom, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. You're fine.
And then I have Mangara too.
Yeah,
Just
Mangara,
hard to-
exactly.
There you
They
go.
just printed Mangara. Boros for the win.
Okay.
Yeah, throw in the
It's
Elish Norn, you're good to go.
Ew. Here's the thing, like I have like 2 Boros decks.
I play
like
against Daniel
Boros.
O'Brien.
Legion War Boss.
Oh,
You know
right.
they were raised by
2/1.
animals.
2/1 for a Goblin Soldier. It has Mentor, which is a pretty cool ability, I think. Whenever it attacks, put a 1 counter on target attacking creature with lower power than it. Beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red Goblin. It gains haste, and it attacks if able.
Yeah.
So, just makes an aggro thing you have to throw at someone again, which is kind of what you do with Goblins.
Yeah. Mock Sentry, 1 red for a 1/1. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, it gets 2/2 to the end of turn. So,
Yeah. It's still pretty good overall. So, and the next one, I'm really surprised to see this, but at the same time, I love it. Okay, is Mon's Goblin Raiders.
Had
Okay,
to put it in for flavor.
yeah, just for fun. It's just 1 red. Okay, for a 1/1. That's it. It's vanilla. So,
Just vanilla 1/1 for 1.
but it's just fun. It's just for flavor. It's just for remember. Like it's like what's it like? Nostalgia reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Outrage Shaman, 3 red for a Goblin Shaman to 2/2, and has Chroma.
Chroma's basically devotion, let's be honest.
Yeah, it pretty much is. They're just coming out with other names, but like when Outrage Shaman comes into play, it deals damage to target creature equal to the number of red mana symbols in the mana cost of permanents you control, which is a lot.
Your devotion to red, yes. A lot of these goblins are like red, or red, like triple red,
Yeah.
double red.
So
It itself is double red.
it is.
Yep.
was that not before?
Yeah,
Arrows?
well before, yes.
Yeah.
So-
Eventide.
No, not Outrage Shaman. We just got that. I'm not good at reading my list. Pashalik Mons.
Oh, we know.
2 and a 1 for a legendary Goblin Warrior. Whenever it or another Goblin you control dies, deals 1 damage to any target. Pay 4, sack a Goblin, create 2 Goblins.
And a fun fact about Pashalik Mons, apparently it's banned. Just kidding.
Don't be joking like that. I like that card.
Daniel's trying to
When
scan his deck and it was saying that it was banned.
Like, Pashalik Mons is not legal in this format. I was like, it sure
He's
is.
like, I'm pretty sure it is, though.
Oh, the next one's the dopest card.
I mean, this is a good win con, right? Like,
It is.
yeah. Perforos, God of the Forge.
Perforos
Anything
is good in
creature
every deck.
comes in, ping, 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 ping.
2 damage to each opponent on every enter is pretty strong.
Especially each opponent. You tap Krenko, you got the Pashalik Mons, bing, bang, boom.
Well, if you were to hit all 6 of your cards, you would do 14 damage on an enter to each player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good at math, but it's going to make the table angry.
Yeah. But
If
everybody
they're still
takes-
alive.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Sensation Gorger is a really, really good disruption card. It's very frustrating to play against, but it's really, really good for you because, again, your goblins are so cheap, you're going to just spam them out. It's 1 red for a 2/2 Goblin Shaman. It has Kinship. Beginning of your upkeep, you can look at the top card of your library. If it shares a creature type with Sensation Gorger, you can reveal it. If you do, each player discards their hand and draws 4 cards.
So good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, Siege Gang Commander for 3 red, 2/2. Okay. When it enters the battlefield, create 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. And for 1 in a red, sacrifice a goblin. Siege Gang Commander deals 2 damage to any target, which is really, really useful.
Yep, the ability to a sack outlet is good, especially even if you just don't really have anything going, you can always sack your commander. Because,
Yeah.
again, goblins cost no mana.
True.
This is a great card to end the game. It's Skirk Fire Marshal. 3 red, protection from red, tap 5 untapped goblins you control. 10 damage to each creature and each player.
So good.
So good.
So good.
Just on a tap?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like this next card. It's Skirk Prospector.
Yeah.
It's a
Someone, a very great Magic player I know, recommended it to me.
but it's a 1 red. Sacrifice a goblin, add a red mana, and it's a 1/1. Like, if you can get Kranko out and you can just start sacking, and if you have 4 goblins, you can almost do an infinite combo with Pashalik Mons right there.
Yep. When you can just keep them going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is one of my favorite goblins to ever exist. The
Oh,
OG.
yeah.
It's Squee Goblin Nabob. 2 and a red for legendary goblin 1/1. Beginning of your upkeep. Where did he go? Beginning of your upkeep, you can return him from your graveyard to your hand. I love
He
him.
is such a good boy.
He's awesome.
Squee does not deserve what he gets, and we love him.
I love his flavor text. Some goblins are expendable. Some are impossible to get rid of, but he's both at the same time. So,
He's a good boy. The next card that you got in this deck is
not a goblin.
no, but
but it's worth it.
He's a dwarf and same vibe.
They probably smell the same. I get it.
They're about the same height. It's Torbrand. So extra damage. If a red sorcerer deal damage, it deals that much damage plus 2. So if you have that much damage plus 2 plus 1, then all of your goblins are doing 4 deeps.
Yep.
So
We have Volley Veteran, which is 4. This was a really, really good card to abuse with Kiki Jiki as well. It's 3 and a red for a 4/2. When it enters, it deals damage to target creature and opponent controls equal to the number of goblins you control.
So gross. So gross. Okay, and last creature here. Warren Instigator for a red for a 1/1 double strike. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you may put a goblin creature from your hand onto the battlefield.
So with double strike,
awesome.
if anyone doesn't know, that will trigger twice. You can put 2 goblins in every time he hits someone.
Yep. Oof. So good. So that's all the creatures there.
Yeah, a lot of goblin creatures there that we went through.
Yeah.
I need to take a big breath. That was a long list, my dude.
Fair.
Take a break. I'm going to take a washroom break now. Goodbye.
Yeah.
What do we have next, Sherman?
Okay, let's go
Land.
with land. Well, we might as well just go with land real fast.
Mountains. Next.
Mountains and a rogue's passage.
Done. Okay, now. Rogue's Passage is like a necessity in this deck. You have to admit.
Anytime you want your commander to hit someone in the face, that's what you got.
Yeah. So especially with goblins, if you're especially when you're emptying your hand often and you have nothing better to do, you have to have these mana sinks in from time to time, right? And Rogue's Passage is like really, really perfect for that. Besides the fact that like Muxus gets really, really big, you wanted to get in. So, but let's go cover instants real fast. You only have 5 instants in this deck.
Not a very other spell intensive deck.
No, but this first one is really, really strong. Okay, Brightstone Ritual. For a red, you add red mana to your mana pool for each goblin in play.
That's awesome.
That is
That's like 20 mana.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or early game, it's like 5 mana.
Or
if
really,
you
really
need
early
it.
game, none, because you just play it on your first turn.
Or it could also very easily be like your 6 mana to put in Muxus, right?
Yep.
So
I like this next card here. It's Falter. It's 1 colorless, 1 red. Creatures without flying cannot block this turn.
Powerful.
It is
Yeah.
a very good
Powerful.
card,
that's a common, baby.
Really easy way to get in. Is that Urza's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Urza
Urza Saga.
Fling, because obviously Muxus just becomes enormous.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I think with Muxus too is you actually have to get him sacked a couple times to actually really have
Yeah,
him be
get him
effective.
going. He needs to enter a few times.
Yeah.
So expansive.
Gorilla Warcry. 1 in a red. Attacking creatures cannot be blocked by only 1 creature this turn. Play only during combat before defense is chosen. Draw a card at the beginning of your next turn's upkeep.
So like it gives a menace,
Yep.
Yeah.
essentially.
It's a
Menace
fun
old
card.
draw.
Just old text.
It's a fun
old
card.
text menace.
Yeah.
Massive Raid is another good one. 1 red. Deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of creatures you control.
That's
Yeah.
That could
Yeah.
kill it. That could be a 1-shot kill for somebody.
It is.
That's a winner.
What do we have next? We have Sorceries.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do Sorceries next.
I see a different order than you guys. So.
So do I.
Okay. Let's do Sorceries. So Fury of the Horde is a 7 cost, the highest mana in the deck, I believe. It's 5 red. But
Unplayable.
you can exile 2 red cards from your hand rather than pay its cost. Untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, there's an additional combat followed by an additional main phase.
Oh,
And
free.
I have to stress it. Whenever Muxus attacks, it gets 1/1 until end of turn. He will get it a second time if he attacks twice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because remember, it's another attack phase, right? So it triggers again because it's the beginning of another.
He gets real big.
So
Yeah.
you kill 2 people and fling them at the last person.
Yes.
I
you
get it.
Goblin
I've
Ew.
played goblins before.
Goblin War Strike is the next one. It's a sorcery for 1 red. Deals damage equal to the number of goblins you control to target player.
Eat.
Yeah, like literally one of my favorite Goblin cards there is.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
A really, really strange removal card that I actually love a lot. It's X3 red, Indomitable Creativity. Destroy X target artifacts and or creatures. For each permanent destroy this way, you reveal from the top of your library until an artifact or creature is revealed. Exile those cards. Then they put the exiled cards on the battlefield and shuffle.
That's very cool.
So, number 1, it can deal with lots of threats. It's a good mass removal. It's a good take their soul ring away card. But more than that, it's a good thing to target at your own goblin tokens. Because because you're going to goblin roulette that way into some of your artifacts, which are great in the deck, and into other goblins.
Well, and there's nothing saying that you can't do both.
Yep.
Like you can hit your opponents and yourself. You can
Hit the whole board.
And the fact that you can hit artifacts and or creatures.
Yeah,
So you can do artifact and creature removal in one fell swoop.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Pretty cool.
Kindred Charge is another good one. You get a copy of each goblin you have in play. Let's be honest, we're naming goblins. You can get another Muxus. Your Muxus will die, but you'll still get the second trigger. Yeah. And your tokens have haste. It's a very strong card. Kindred Charge is great in any deck.
They do get exiled at the next
At the end step, yes, correct. We have another extra combat step, which is Relentless Assault. 2 red, untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, there's an additional combat followed by an additional main phase.
My goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, this next one is so awesome. Underplayed card. Sudden Demise. X in a red, okay? Choose a color. Sudden Demise deals X damage to each creature of the chosen color. So good.
Very good to deal with threats.
It's so much fun. And, like, this can be a one-sided board wipe if done correctly.
Oh, yeah, especially if it's targeted to green. Green often is very prevalent on the board in Commander games.
Yeah, and has a lot of low toughness.
Yep.
If
For
do
early
right,
on.
No can defend.
Yeah, this hitting elf deck is brutal.
Well, goblins versus elves. Like, hey.
That's why they did it.
Yep.
I think maybe next we should hit the enchantments.
Yeah, let's do the enchantments next then.
So the first enchantment that's on Daniel's deck list here is Bogart Shenanigans, and let me tell you,
It's that place with all the goofy stuff.
Shenanigans!
there were some shenanigans yesterday. This card was not cool.
Tribal enchantment, Goblin.
Goblin. So whenever another goblin you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may have Bogart Shenanigans deal 1 damage to target player. Which is very, very annoying.
It really does insulate you from a board wipe, because if you get enough goblins out, there's a lot of threat on the table of, board wipe and I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know I love to threaten.
I was going to say, that's your exact move.
Like,
Dude, I'll kill you. Okay, do it.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I have a second theme in this deck, and it's just doing more damage. So Dictate of the Twin Gods.
Which is double damage.
Isn't that like normally
three red with flash. If a source would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead.
Then the next one is Fiery Emancipation, which is triple damage.
Power creep isn't real. Wizards, triple damage.
Fiery Emancipation is so good. I need that card.
3 and triple red.
Yeah.
If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to a permanent or player instead.
And that's one of the new mythics from the new core set. But it's nasty, boys.
Flame Shadow Conjuring. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under my control, I can pay a red. If I do, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature, gains haste, exile at the end step. Again, we know how good the goblins are with haste, and we also know how much we want to make more Muxus. Even if he dies to the legend rule, still triggers.
And just for fun, the next card that you tried to scan in Spanish.
Horno de Wrath. It's Furnace of Wrath. It's
Si una
one
fuente
red.
fuera.
1 red. No, 3 reds, whatever. If the source would deal damage, it deals double that damage instead.
I'm seeing a theme.
Yes. A really fun rule thing. So on my turn, I choose how triggers stack. But on your turn, it'll be different. So if I have, let's say, a 2/2 out, Fiery Emancipation out, which triples the damage, and Furnace of Wrath out, which doubles the damage, you will choose the order that it's doubled in first. So you could choose that the 2 would be tripled first, up to 6, and then 6 doubled to 12, instead of the 2 doubled to 4, and then 4 3 times. Still 12, but it does make a difference later on when you get into different things. Just the fact that you organize the triggers on your turn and you choose what applies first for replacement effects is really interesting.
Yeah. It's funny because on the way over, Tyrone and I were actually talking about that because he was asking me about that.
Yeah,
So,
and then like you also have the Torbrand too, which once again add that in.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. Torbrand's a good one because you can add that at the end, right?
well, yeah, because instead of that 2/2 becoming the 2 damage going to 4, then doubling and tripling that way, you could put that extra 2 damage on at the end.
Yeah.
So that it was not added.
Yeah, so it'll be 14 instead of whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of 4 times.
too early to do math.
Instead of being 4 doubled to 8, tripled to
Triple.
24, it'll just be 14.
Yeah.
The next one, In the Web of War. 3 red. Whenever a creature comes into play under your control, it gets 2/0 and haste until the end of the turn.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Really nice.
A card that I was amazed to have found.
Yeah, well, in Japanese.
I did find it in Japanese. I have no idea. Number one, full disclosure, I am not in Japan right now. I don't know where a Japanese one of these ones came from at all.
That would be really cool if we were all in Japan and we had a studio there. We're just like, yeah, every week we just fly on down.
Just fly on down. That's why we're so tired. It's the red-eye flight.
Yeah.
Molten Echoes is a card from the new Commander set, and it's great. They should print it endlessly because I love it. It is an enchantment.
Spoiler, they won't.
2 red. As it enters, choose a creature type. Whenever a non-token creature of the chosen type enters under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, gains haste, exile at the beginning of the next end step.
Respect.
Love Molten Echoes.
Yeah.
Very good in slivers.
Especially when you have an...
Humans too.
Yeah. Especially when you have a
Good in
sack outlet.
Everything.
Yes.
It's good in allies. It's good in wizards. Put it in a Nala.
It's good in tribal stuff that runs red.
Outpost Siege runs basically, it should just read Bogart Shenanigans too, the way that you should play it. But it's 3 and a red. As it enters, you choose cons or dragons. Beginning of your upkeep, if you choose cons, exile top card of your library until end of turn, you may play that card. We don't want that.
Don't choose cons.
We want dragons, because dragons are better. But whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, deals 1 damage to any target. Bogart shenanigans too.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo is right. Quest for the Goblin Lord is our last enchantment, I believe. It's a 1 red. Whenever a goblin enters under your control, you can put a quest counter on it. As long as it has 5 or more quest counters on it, creatures you control get +2/+0.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's go into the artifacts.
Yeah,
Tyrone,
well,
you want to hit it off
The
for us?
last segment here.
No? All right. That's good. First one, Blade of Cells. It's going to be 2 mana for equipment. Equipped creature has Myriad. Okay, so whenever it attacks for each opponent, other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature that's tapped and attacking that player, or a planeswalker they control. And then you exile those tokens at the end of combat.
So
And the equip cost is 4.
I think we all know where this is going.
Yes, what this means is put it on Muxus and reveal the top 18 cards of your library. You get any goblins 5 or less.
Yeah, even though you have to get rid of the Muxus for legendary
They
rules, the
still have to
ETB
enter.
still comes in.
Yeah.
The triggers are still on the
They
stack.
have to enter to be exiled.
Blade of Selves is wonderful on any commander with an ETB ability.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Blade of Cells is so much fun.
Yeah.
I wish the price would go down though.
Yeah, it needs to.
Yeah.
Reprint it.
Reprinted Wizards.
Conjurer's Closet. 4, I'm pretty sure everyone here can guess. It's 5 at the beginning of your end step. Exile target creature you control. Then return it to the battlefield under your control.
Muxus.
Armand's Goblin Raider.
Yes.
I like this next one. It's Gauntlet of Might.
Gauntlet.
It's 4. All red creatures gain +1/+1, and all mountains provide an extra red mana when tapped.
This is
Very good ramp.
this is like half your budget. This one
Very
card.
much. Yeah,
The budget
this
on
is
the
like
deck.
1/3 of the whole deck. But it's goblins.
That's actually so funny because I was talking to Daniel about this deck. I was like, this is like pretty affordable. I'm like within reason, it's like 250-ish bucks. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like the cheapest deck I've ever seen, but it's not bad.
Not bad
for a
at all.
commander
This
deck.
episode of Into the 99, Daniel stumbles into budget.
And then the Gauntlet
It's
of Might.
because Daniel cracked the
The
Muxus.
Had
Because
to build
the Muxus is like $60 or $70 or something right now. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
man.
Well, Canadian.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get a Tiny Bones.
Tiny Bones.
Tiny Bones.
I'm
The
gonna-
Sword Savior.
I'm gonna make it so that everyone will actually like it and not be salted. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, don't do that. That's wrong.
Yeah, just play
It's
That's
Hey!
illegal. There's actually a rule against that.
Yeah, play
What
Tiny
is
Bones
A?
the right
No,
way.
check the rules text.
That's what the devotion's for. Icon of Ancestry. 3 colorless. As it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get 1/1. Great. 3 and a tap. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You can reveal a creature of the chosen type from among them, put them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom in a random order. So again, a good spot to sink some mana and maybe refill something in your hand before your turn starts.
Well, and in addition to refilling, you're also getting rid of stuff that you don't want on the top of your library
true.
to Muxus.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Skull Clan.
We've all
Because,
seen it.
Yeah, everyone wants to draw more cards with those goblin
A
tokens.
soul ring. What does that do?
Ring of Souls. Taps for 2 mana.
I wasn't being serious,
Wait.
but okay.
Why isn't this in every commander? Oh.
Aha.
Sword of the Animist. Red needs a little bit of mana ramp, and Sword of the Animist is a great card to do it. It's 2, and an equip of 2. Equip creature gets 1/1. It's an equipment. Legendary artifact,
It's-
let's be real.
What?
Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for basic land, put on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is awesome, especially in any sort of red deck, because red is just by its nature quite aggressive.
Yeah.
So you're going to be attacking. So taking advantage of that and getting the land ramp.
I think they have the wrong
Also-
Planeswalker on the art, too. Should be Chandra.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, Nissa is the one searching for that land.
Yeah, she's she is the animist.
With the Sword of the Animist, I want to see people be more aggressive with it, okay? So, like, I see people, they'll put Sword of Animist on a creature,
And they
it
never
just,
attack.
They never attack. Even if you sacrifice the creature, it's not a big deal. The land is more important, in my opinion.
I
Unless
agree.
the creature's really, really, really awesome, and you don't want to lose it, okay,
I'm
fine.
always aggro with Sword
Yeah,
of the Animist.
but, like,
I only
your
equip
aggro
it
is
for
everything.
something. I don't care if it dies.
Well, especially because it's on
Everything is-
attack.
Yeah.
Like it's not on. It doesn't have to deal damage. It doesn't have to deal damage to an opponent. It just has to attack. So it triggers immediately.
And the nice thing is you're using a tribal deck too that uses like tokens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Slap it on a token. Who cares?
Throw it on a token.
Either slap it on a token or slap it on something that you want that you know is going to be big enough that they're either not going to block or it's going to like get rid of a good blocker.
Let's be honest. Goblins dying is not important.
It doesn't matter.
Goblins attacking is what's important.
Goblins dying is a benefit for you in this deck.
Yeah, that's true.
It's shenanigans.
It is
Shenanigans.
Bogart shenanigans. So yeah, we're at the end of the list here. I just want to see kind of, is there anything you guys would have put into the list? Is there anything different you would have done with it?
Ooh.
Blood Moon.
Yeah, Blood Moon is a good card.
It would be
red
funny.
decks.
Yeah, it would be really funny.
Yeah.
Well, it also, Blood Moon is actually, all jokes aside, it is good because you have Mountain Walk in it. It is a great card to put in, turning everything into mountains and then smashing people.
But once again, it is like one of the saltiest cards that you can play.
You're not going to make friends playing a Blood Moon.
No, but at the same time, it depends on your play group. Your play group is like us. We really don't care. We do that stuff constantly. Like
the card's not called Smile Moon, boys.
No.
Wow.
So Blood Moon is named after that because your face is all bloody after, right? No.
Salt Moon.
Salt Moon.
I'd also put like a little bit of land destruction in there, like boil or boiling seas.
No. I would not do that.
Yeah, it was great having you on the podcast, man.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to...
First time, last time kind of deal, right? No.
I cast Obliterate?
What does it do?
Obliterate with Muxus on the stack?
Ooh. I would do a lot. I would add in a lot of different things, but at the same time, like once again, it comes down to our different play styles and everything. For someone like this, I'm definitely aggro as well. I would throw in a lot of weird stuff. Like I was mentioned before we were recording, things like there's a lot of goblins out there. Like Goblin Tunneler is one of my favorite ones because it's a 1/1 for 1 red. Okay, and all you do is you tap it to destroy and sacrifice it to destroy target wall.
Yep.
Okay, it's something that everyone's like, oh look, it's useless. You know, who plays with walls? But people do from time to time. You never know what's gonna happen. And I'll also play like silly things like Goblin Balloon.
Yeah, the Ballooner.
Yeah.
I actually took that out because I didn't have enough room in the deck with my double damage ones, but that is a great card. A 1/1 for 1 that you can pay 1 red to give it flying.
Yeah, and then it dies after.
It is there is a lot of other cool ones in the deck.
My brain's not really working right now, but it's too early in the morning.
I was going to say, what else is there?
This was a great point, Tyrone. Thank you.
But because you're in red, you don't have a lot of enchantment removal. What would you do for artifacts then?
Oh, that's easy.
Because looking for answers, right?
Yeah, well, I do like the Indomitable creativity. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really that interested in it. Realistically, you should, and this is just how you should build it. You should have a liquid metal coating if you're running red, because red can just deal with artifacts so easy.
Yeah.
The ability to put like the best card someone has and then overload it and destroy all artifacts you don't control. Like Overload's great. It should be in every deck. Overload just makes me salty personally, so I don't play it. But it's arguably the best, not even arguably, it is the best artifact removal card in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
Vandal Blast.
Oh, Vandal Blast.
Vandal Blast.
Oh, thank you. What did I say?
You said,
I think I kept calling it Overload or something. Who knows?
Well, it has Overload.
It has Overload. But you're
Either
talking
way.
about liquid metal coating. So
Either way, she's a friend.
For liquid metal coating things. But the other thing, too, is you can also just microsynth Lattice and then just be the worst person at the table.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know what liquid metal coating does, okay, all it is an artifact. I think it was like a 3 cost. I don't have it, and any of us have it all up right now. But basically, you tap it and you make any permanent an artifact. Okay.
Fun fact, if anyone in your playgroup annoys you, do it to their lands and splinter it, and they'll stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is funny.
We'll do a whole episode on why you should splinter things at some point.
Oh, let's do it.
We'll call it cooking with salt.
There's a lot of, like, once again, like, it's goblins. There's so many goblins out there. Like, you have Goblin Warden or whatever.
Yeah, there's so
like,
many.
There's so many.
I
Goblin
think there was
Recruiter.
300 goblins when I pulled up Goblins on Gatherer.
Yeah, there's so many. Like, some are useless, some are vanilla, some are fantastic. But once again, you know, like, it's up to you. This is how everyone has different ways of building it. Okay. And sometimes, like, you know, like, you put in a Mon's Goblin Raider. Okay. Nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
I do that constantly. Yeah. It's just fun. So I would put in, like, what was it called? I would put in this one card. Okay. In red. Early on is, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like Eternal Warrior or something like that. Okay, it's a single red. All right, but basically it's an enchant aura or enchant creature back in the day, and it gives your creature vigilance. One of the only red cards, if not the only red card, that gives vigilance.
Yeah, vigilance is not very common in red unless it's on.
And that would be
mixed
awesome.
Creature, yeah.
Yeah, if you put it on Muxus, it's like, okay, I'm gonna swing in. It's still like, I can block with it after, even though it's not as strong as before. But still, like, you give it vigilance. I would put in silly things like that. It's me. Let's face it. I would probably put in things like fire breathing. So
Fire breathing would be good. Speaking of things you would put in, I actually thought of putting in Annex. Because I was getting rid of so many creatures that I thought that the ability to get those satyrs as well as extra things, and I believe the satyrs can't block.
Yeah.
No.
I
would put in like more aggro stuff, like Impact Tremors and a Warstorm Surge and that kind of nonsense.
And that's
kind of go harder. I was going to go into the Terror of the Twin Peaks kind of route and really make it ETB themed, but I wanted to stick with Goblin themed in general. You can honestly switch out Krenko and Muxus as this commander. I just like Muxus better. I think he's just unique, and I think that this build is better for him. You could obviously turn this into a Krenko deck pretty easily, but
that's like, you could do so many things. And I know people will probably comment saying like, hey, what do I think that Goblin Bombardment? Like, you don't have to have Goblin Bombardment in everything, guys. Like,
Goblin Bombardment is good though.
It is good. It is a powerful sack outlet. Once again though, like, let's switch it up, okay? Like, just because something is a staple doesn't mean you need to put it in. Like, I personally am, when I start building decks now, I'm trying to stay away from staples. If I'm building something for someone else, I'll put staples in. But for my personally, I am trying to stay away from staples because that forces me to be more creative.
Yeah, it is actually an interesting way to build because you do see a lot of stagnant play when it's all staples. It's all this is what you need to put in, and I don't like that you need to put it in.
Yeah, so
unless it's Soul Ring, but you don't need Soul Ring.
You don't see. Well, that's the thing. Like, even if you would put in a ramp for red, okay? I know people are like, oh, but there's no ramp for red. No, I'm a red player. There's plenty of ramp. You just gotta find it. It takes time. So like, you have the usuals like Fire Diamond, was it Ruby Medallion, stuff like that.
Medallion.
But like with my Annex deck, like, when we're talking about the deck tag, I'm like, here's Sister Sent to Flame, and everyone's like, what the heck is Sister Sent to Flame? It's like, it's mana ramp. It's bad mana ramp, but it's still mana ramp. Yeah.
It's my mom.
But like, there's always things like that, The same thing with white. Like, people are like, like we were talking about this earlier in the episode, like, people were like, oh, well, white needs more ramp, but like, white does have ramp. It's just the ramp that white has is expensive. Yeah. Okay. You have Tithe. You have land tax.
You're not getting a white Lana War Elf. Let's be honest. You're not going to ever.
You're never going to get that.
That's gonna...
Well, and nor should we, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Every color has its strengths and it has its weaknesses, and that's why we have different colors.
Yeah. Let's just accelerate black with a 1 black that taps for 1 black. No. Cut that out.
That's why you have Blood Pet. Granted, you have to sacrifice it, but who cares?
So thank you guys very much. Let us know what you would put into Muxus. If you like Muxus versus Cranko, like who would you choose? Who do you think is the better? Yeah, I like Muxus better. He's the king in my opinion. But who would you choose? Who would you make it? Be sure to check out our website. We have lots of articles that come up every week. We have great writers and partners that we work with.
Yeah, we're definitely very lucky with that. Also, is voting still going on?
Voting is still going on until Tuesday,
yeah, voting is still going on for the choice of Sherman's
Mega Bowl,
commander for the Mega Bowl. So you can check that out on our Discord. There's a voting.
And who are they voting for, Sherman? What are the 3 choices?
So they are voting for Omnath, Locust of the Royal.
Omnath in a river.
Yes.
Get out of my head. He's in my brain.
Sidri Galvanic Genius.
A great card. I don't see that one very often at all. I'd love to see that one.
Yeah, that'd be
cool. And that's the thing. Like, this is supposed to be a budget deck of $100 minus basic lands, obviously.
Nice. So you get $140.
Yeah. So it's like basically. So it's like, it's not like I can put in the Aether Flux and give it life, make it a creature and lifelink and just destroy the board, right? I probably could do that, but
not on budget.
I'm not going to do. Well, I could do it on budget. Let's face it, it's me.
A challenge. And then the last one I think is Thantis. Is that correct?
Yeah, Thantis of War Weaver.
Aggro Spider. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Aggro spider. I vote Omnath in the river, but it's
I'm
not up
also
to me.
interested in Omnath in the River, but I have not cast my vote yet.
I have. I like elementals. I think it would be really. I just think it's cool.
the polls are pretty even right now.
Yeah.
So I might have to make a deck for all three at this
Yeah.
point in time.
I'm pretty excited. So yeah, you can vote on our Discord as well as over on all of our other social media. The link to our Discord is on our other social media. You could also just bother Brian for it. That's always a good time. He's not here to defend himself.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
In addition, we do still stream most Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And so I think that's it, guys. We'll see you next week.
Before we go,
Just
at the
kidding.
same time, okay, for
Psych.
the Mega Bowl, please check out the other people that are
The other
joining
players
us.
who are
They're
playing.
doing.
Yeah, so the Canadian Geeks,
Yeah.
okay,
Brennan.
what
What a homie.
Cardboard Commander, okay, and the last one, Casual Drake with
Elder
Elder
Skylander. Yeah.
Lander.
Good
I
luck.
always want to say Highlander just because we play EDH with
I want to say
Skylander.
Skylander, and I'm like, that's not it.
Spiral!
Another quick thank you as well to Tyrone. Thanks for coming and being on today. And
Thanks,
guys, for
homie.
having
yeah,
me.
great seeing you. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Catch you next week.
Bye
Catch
for
you
real.
later!
Bye.